sort of difficult to talk immediately after a film like this. It's very intense. There are many, many secrets in this family. And I just want to start off by asking you about the sleepwalking. I had read that you had said, well, obviously, the sleepwalking is a actual phenomenon in this film, but I think Érica's character as well was doing some sleepwalking in a different sense, and you have the idea that when they come together, there's an awakening that happens, and I'm wondering if you can talk about that.
I will speak in Spanish because it's very difficult to say all these ideas in English. La idea de los sonámbulos tiene varias lecturas. Por un lado, tiene que ver con lo que ocurre en esta familia en la que todos de alguna forma tienen alterado el sueño. Para poder dormir tienen que tomar o medicamentos o duermen de forma interrumpida o son sonámbulos. O sea, como la idea de no poder conciliar el sueño y no poder relajar y entregarse a ese estado es algo que me interesaba trabajar.
The story of the sleepwalking here can have a number of different readings. We see what's happening in this family. Almost all of them have disturbed sleep in one way or another. Either some have to take pills to sleep, or they have interrupted sleep, or they actually can't sleep and they sleepwalk. So this is what I'm trying to get into with this film.
También creo que tiene que ver con los sonámbulos como idea. Hay un deseo que queda reprimido y que se pone de manifiesto justamente cuando son sonámbulos. Entonces esas son cosas que también me interesaban pensar más que nada desde el personaje de Ana, ¿no? Hay un personaje que está desnudo queriendo irse de una casa.
Sleepwalking generally represents some kind of desire that is repressed, and it comes out. It comes out through sleepwalking. That was one of the things that really interested me, and particularly in the character of Ana. There she is, naked and trying to leave the house.
Y básicamente es la idea de personas, de esa familia, siempre digo, esta patología llamada familia, en donde estos personajes no pueden, ninguno de ellos, tener cierta paz, ¿no? Que hay algo de la oscuridad de los adultos que de forma permanente está afectando la vida y descuidando la vida de los más jóvenes.
The idea of this family, the pathology of this family and the members of this family is that none of them can relax, none of them can give themselves over to sleep and be in peace. And the darkness of the adults is affecting the young people in this family.
Y básicamente también esta idea de no poder estar ni en ningún lugar ni el otro, ¿no? Los personajes, nadie está cómodo con el lugar que tiene, pero siguen estando. Y esa idea de los sonámbulos, de alguna manera está traducida a esto, ¿no? No están despiertos, no están dormidos, van.
So that is the basic premise here, that they can't be comfortable anywhere. They can't be asleep, they can't be awake, and they can't stay asleep. So that's kind of the image of the sleepwalker.
And all that anxiety and pathology, I think, is also expressed in the way that you chose to shoot the film and the visual style. You have these family gatherings en plein air, and it's so claustrophobic. Mm-hmm. You know, the camera heeds very closely to your characters. Can you talk about that decision?
Yes. La película durante el tiempo de escritura pasó de ser una película sobre los miembros de la familia a ser una película sobre dos personajes dentro de la familia, a ser una película narrativa en términos de un plot, un argumento que era más grande, a ser una película más emocional. Ese fue un debate en el que tuve durante muchos meses y años, diría, de la escritura.
During the writing phase, it seemed like this was going to be a story about a family and about two people in particular in the family. It was to be a film with a very narrative plot. It would have been bigger and more emotional. That was kind of a debate that took place over months and actually years.
Finalmente opté por que el punto de vista fuera de una madre y una hija atravesadas por esta familia. Y esos puntos de vista, de alguna manera, tenían que poder contar el encierro que estas dos personas tenían, cada una con su circunstancia. El personaje de Luisa es un personaje que, a partir del desprendimiento de su hija, empieza a encontrarse con ella misma y a darse cuenta que es una mujer que no se gusta, que está buscando su lugar nuevamente en el mundo, su profesión, se replantea su lugar como madre, su lugar como mujer, su lugar como esposa, qué lugar tiene dentro de esa familia. El personaje de Ana es un personaje que está encontrándose con un cuerpo nuevo, con deseos que quizás no sabe canalizar, con preguntas, con necesidades de tener una opinión propia ante el mundo, ante la vida. Y esos dos personajes, do you want to? Okay.
So we have this. Finally, we decided that we would make it a film about these two characters, the mother and the child in this family. And so our point of view was to show these two people and how they're kind of locked into their stories. How we have the character of Luisa, who has sort of lost hold of things. She's lost hold of her child. She looks at herself and doesn't like herself. She's trying to find her place in her own life, in her world, as a wife or a mother or a writer. And then we have Ana, who's finding herself in a new body with desires that she doesn't really understand, with her questions, trying to say that I have my own opinions, I want to make my own life.
Y estos personajes viven ese encierro de su propia circunstancia dentro de un espacio que me importaba que se sintiera claustrofóbico, endogámico, donde este espacio en el que transcurre la película estuviera rodeada de este humo, que es una idea, digamos, ¿no? del que viene del mundo vecino, como si el peligro pudiera venir de afuera, pero que en realidad el peligro está dentro. Y entonces la forma que encontré de contar esta claustrofobia que estaban viviendo esos personajes era una cámara en mano, muy cercana a los personajes, y donde permanentemente el foco eran ellos y lo demás estaba atrás, digamos, ¿no? O sea, como básicamente estar con ellos, con sus emociones, con su forma de mirar, de oír. Esa fue la idea.
With these two characters who are very locked into their circumstances, I wanted the film to make you feel that claustrophobia and that sense of an endogamic feeling. I tried to portray this with the smoke that is coming from the neighbor's yard. So perhaps the danger is coming from outside, but really the danger is within. It's in that claustrophobia. And the way to show that claustrophobia was partly through the camera, a handheld camera, very close to the faces, focusing on the foreground with the background always very blurry and far away. So that was how I tried to show that.
So that takes me to my next question, which is about the actors and their body placement and choreography and how you worked with them. But in particular, I'd like to ask Érica how you got into the mindset of this role. It's very, very intense, and it seems like you gave everything you had. So if you can discuss your relationship to the script and the role and how you worked with Paula and the other actors like Danielle.
Creo que entendí toda la pregunta, pero no sé si toda.
Sobre el trabajo que
sí.
hiciste conmigo, sobre el personaje, sobre el guión, sobre cómo abordaste el trabajo actoral.
Creo que cualquier mujer que tenga hijos y haya deseado ser madre, tiene una particular sensibilidad con el peligro de que empiecen a crecer y que se empiecen a alejar. Creo que eso es un lugar muy sensible en donde estar, en donde vivir, en donde aparecen un montón de emociones y miedos y y terrores con respecto al afuera, con respecto al adentro. Uno como mujer se empieza a ver de nuevo más allá de la maternidad.
I think any woman with children or any woman wanting to be a mother becomes very sensitive to danger, the danger of children growing up and growing away, moving away. And it's a very sensitive place to be in, to live in, to inhabit. And there are many emotions and many fears and terrors. The terrors can be from outside or from within. And this is what the women always see.
Y con Paula trabajamos mucho esta sensación de no entender qué es lo que estaba pasando entre nosotras con Ana, con el personaje de Ana, y con el personaje de Luisa en sí mismo. No puedo decir algo que sea muy distinto a lo que creo que cualquier mujer puede sentir habiendo pasado por estas situaciones de ser madre.
Paula and I worked on this whole way of portraying the not understanding what was happening with the daughter, Luisa not understanding really what was happening with herself. I don't think I can really say anything beyond what almost every mother has felt.
Did you stick very closely to the script, or was there any improvisation?
No, we work with the script. We had a lot of rehearsals. I'm not used to do that, but in this film I needed to do it. And in these rehearsals, en estos ensayos, hubo muchas reescrituras durante los ensayos, más que nada de algunas situaciones y de textos que se decían. Pero el guión básicamente se respetó, o sea, no hubo situaciones de improvisación puras. De hecho, las escenas más complejas, la escena de la gran pelea final es una escena que también tuvo mucho trabajo, parece algo más improvisado, pero también tuvo como todo un trabajo previo. No, el guión se mantuvo como era y muy sobre el final de la preproducción de la película decidí eliminar unas escenas que venían posteriores a la ruta final, porque entendí que esos dos personajes estaban a la intemperie y que había que dejarlos ahí, con esa sensación de estar a la intemperie y no continuarlo.
We rehearsed actually many scenes, and the rehearsal of the scenes often led to some rewriting of the situations and of the text that the actors would speak. But we stayed very close to the script. There wasn't any improvisation per se. On some of the complex scenes, we had to do a lot of preparation. The final fight scene, for instance, there was a little bit of improvisation in that, but it took a lot of practice. We stayed very close to the script. What did happen in the final stage of production was that I ended up deciding to cut out some of the scenes that happened after they got in the car, because I really felt I should just leave them in that very unprotected state, and that's really how the film should end.
What I also like about this film is that it's a family drama, very intense, but I sort of feel like there's some horror elements creeping in, that you had played with genre expectations a little bit. Can you talk about that?
It could have been a thriller. It's a thriller. Family is a thriller. Family is a thriller.
That's a very good point.
I can say that. I mean,
I think people agree with you.
Creo que sí, nunca me dediqué a trabajar el género, una película, nunca hice una película puramente de género, pero sí hay elementos del género que me interesaban y que tienen que ver con esto, con el horror que se transmite ahí adentro de esa opresión familiar. Entonces, Digo, hay ciertas cuestiones con la oscuridad, con lo que no se ve, con el fuera de campo, como hay algunos elementos que me interesaban trabajarlos, pero siempre desde el contexto más dramático en relación a lo que ocurre con estos personajes familiares.
I've never really worked in the genre films kind of area, but really in this film, I think some of the horror does come from the oppressiveness of the family. So we played a bit with darkness, things that you can't see, the context that gives it a higher dramatic area feeling, but it's really a family, it's a character within families kind of film.
And since we have Daniel here, I'd love to hear about your experience working with Paula and Érica.
It was great. No, I just want. Yo quiero agregar una cosita, algo que dijo ella. No te así, vamos de a poquito. Eso, quiero agregar.
We're all multilingual.
I just want to add something to what the other two have just said.
Érica decía de esta sensación del miedo de ser madre, que también creo que los padres compartimos de alguna manera.
Érica talked about that kind of fear that we feel as parents. To some degree.
Y me parece que en ese sentido el sonambulismo agrega algo, y es que en la noche es cuando generalmente sentimos la paz, la tranquilidad de que están a salvo, y la sensación de que un hijo se pueda despertar en medio de la noche. Eso me parece que agrega también ese horror, el horror máximo.
So Érica talked about this as a parent, but really sleepwalking add something, because nighttime is when the kids are safe, when you don't have to worry about them. And so when you have a child that is sleepwalking, that is an element of terror that can be added.
Y bueno, la vi ahora por primera vez la película. I saw for the first time now, and it's great. And the Érica's job, and of course the movie is.
And yours.
No, of course, and yours too, and all together.
You're like a family.
I want to add something that is related to with that Daniel says. Cuando mi hija era muy pequeña, tenía 2 años, una noche, siempre que uno tiene un hijo está muy pendiente, inclusive uno duerme, pero hay una oreja que está ahí atenta. Y uno de los puntos de partida de escribir esta película fue una mañana en la que me desperté y mi hija, que era muy pequeña, 2 años y medio, había vomitado en la noche y no me había llamado. Y para mí eso fue me dejó muy descolocada, no entendí si me había llamado y yo no la había escuchado, o si ella no me había llamado. Y ese fue uno de los puntos de partida para empezar a escribir esta película.
I just want to add something, which is from my own life. When my own daughter was quite young, about 2.5 years old, one night I was asleep, and of course, as a parent, you always sleep with one eye open or one ear open. But in this case, when I woke up in the morning and I went to her bed, I saw that she had thrown up in the night, and she hadn't called me, or had she called me, and I didn't hear her, or didn't she call me? And I think that was kind of the germ that started this film, that fear.
Also the unpredictability of sleepwalking.
Exactly.
Anything can happen. You know, your complete vulnerability. I think about people who don't want to fall asleep in a cinema because they're in public, but imagine walking out and the horror of. We do have time for audience questions. If there are any, please raise your hand. It's hard for us to see you. But
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's a question.
Good evening, bonsoir, buenas tardes. Sorry for erupting like that. I am the ambassador of Argentina, and by chance I am in Toronto for a Global Economic Forum. So I came to congratulate Paula and the rest of the team for the great movie. We have, as you said before, Argentine films in the TIFF. It's a normal presence, but this time we are going to have 2 films, this today, and tomorrow we are going to have Buenas Intenciones, Good Intentions, directed by Ana Garcia Blaya, both women directors. So we would like to highlight that. Once again, I love the film.
Thank you.
I mean, I think like we can
Having a diplomatic moment.
No. I'm je suis cinéphile, so I like very much.
Okay.
And I do think that any grown-up people has gone through moments like this in a family, or in a friend's family, etc. So once again, my congratulations to you. Thank you for the TIFF. And so we are going to have also tomorrow another film from Argentina, so twice, two films, and both of them are going to San Sebastián, no?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much. That was the only thing I would like to highlight.
Okay.
Thank you for being here. Any questions from the audience for Paula, Érica, Daniel? Yes, right here.
Exactamente. Gracias.
Thank you. I'll just repeat that, although it was bilingual, so I can understand half.
I do the other part.
You other part, okay. It was a compliment for Paula and the team in saying that she, at the beginning, she had certain expectations and that she found it a bit slow and something was mounting, but the explosion didn't happen when she thought it would, and when it did, it was overwhelming.
Exactamente. Creo que estamos muy acostumbrados a que las cosas vayan a mucha velocidad y a veces creo que uno mira de otra forma cuando las cosas tienen su tiempo. Construir una tensión no es algo que se construye, por lo menos de la forma en la que a mí me interesa hacerlo, con velocidad. Creo que es una película que funciona por acumulación y que hay algo de ese final, que es un poco lo que vos decís, de alguna manera te hace terminar de entender por qué todo eso fue lento al principio. Gracias.
People generally expect kind of a fast build-up, a build-up of tension, and that wasn't the way I looked at the way I wanted to build tension in my film was to not make it fast, but to make it slow and cumulative. And at the end, you understand why it built that way.
I have a question about the producing of the film. You know, this is touchy subject matter, and I'm wondering if that was a difficult impediment in any way, or how the production went.
Bueno, gracias a todos por venir. Estamos realmente muy contentos de estar acá. La verdad que producí esta película cuando Paula me acercó el guión. Bueno, una película difícil por el tema que toca y demás de querer producir, pero con Paula ya habíamos trabajado juntos, sabía cómo iba a abordar el tema y no dudé en ningún momento de sumarme al proyecto y llevarlo adelante.
Thanks to all of you for coming. I'm really glad I could be here. In terms of production, when we saw the script, we saw that it was going to be a very sensitive topic, but we had worked with Paula before, and we had a lot of faith in her ability to carry this out. We were happy to work with her.
Wonderful. I think we have time for one more question, if there is, from the audience. You're all still here because I think you want to hear more. Yes, right here. So to repeat the question in English so that everybody can hear, what was the hip hop song and was there a particular significance for that song?
Es una canción de alguien muy joven de Argentina que se llama Was. Cuando escuché la letra, me gustó mucho el tema, cuando escuché la letra pensé que hablaba de alguna manera de lo que la película estaba hablando y fue alumno mío en un taller de dirección de actores para cine y le pedí su canción y me la dio. De alguna manera no quería que hubiera mucha música en la película, salvo que las músicas que tenían que ver con lo que se estaba de alguna manera contando. Y me parece que cuenta esa canción gran parte del mundo que estamos viendo familiar, el lugar en el que esos jóvenes, esos chicos tienen dentro de esa familia. Y entonces me fue muy una casualidad escuchar una canción de alguien que conocía, que me gustaba mucho y que tenía que ver con lo que estábamos contando.
The author of that song, the performer of that song, is a young fellow named Was, and I thought the words to that song were really matched what our characters were going through. The fellow actually was a student of mine in a direction class a direction workshop that I was giving. I asked him if he would let us use the song, and he said yes. I didn't really want to use a lot of music in this film. But this song seemed to speak directly to the way the young people were experiencing life, and it was just luck that I had him in my workshop and was able to ask him to give us that song. It really worked out.
Wonderful. Well, we're out of time, but this was really fantastic. So I'm so happy that you premiered this film with us and that you all came to Toronto. Thank you for being here. Thanks again.
Thank you again.